Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show with no Ironhead for the first segment today. I'm with my man Jeff Goldberg here, representative of many companies here in the State College area, but Jeff's a good friend of mine, and he's in towns for the Arts Fest. And I said, why don't you come on the air here and talk about some of the businesses? So, Jeffrey Goldberg, no relation to the Goldberg, as you can tell by the sheer size of me and him. There's no relation between him and the wrestler Goldberg. Oh, NFL player and wrestler Bill Goldberg.
That's right. He is my famous cousin Bill, and my middle name being William, I can kind of say he's my middle.
Pull that in a little tight there to you. Yeah. So you were on the show here today. You know, you're a Penn State grad. How many generations?
I'm a third generation Penn State grad. My wife and I both graduated in 1999. Both my parents are graduates. Early 70s. Can't remember exactly the year. My grandmother went here on my mom's side.
See, I didn't know the grandmom.
Yeah, third generation. And then my nephew started here, and then he went a different path. So we were hoping for 4 generations, but I got another nephew, so we'll see.
You got to start working him.
Oh, he's well indoctrinated and has been.
Is it a sister's kid?
So my nephew that started here and moved on, that was Janine's sister's.
Okay. So it's by
son.
marriage.
That one's by marriage.
Yep.
So he was well indoctrinated too. When he was a kid, it didn't matter what sport was on. It didn't matter what team was playing. It was come on Penn State. So he was well indoctrinated. My other nephew, Colby, is my brother's son. So that's more Penn State blood, true blue, white blood.
Yep.
That even though my brother is the black sheep, is the only one that didn't go to Penn State, and pretty much our entire family. We have hopes for Colby.
So what happened to the brother? How come he go? Where did he go?
I think he went to William & Mary.
He thought he was special.
He still to this day resents the fact that I went there for graduate school, doesn't believe they should have let me in. I just think he wanted to get the hell away from me, to be honest, and he accomplished that. And
so you went to grad school at William & Mary just to tell him, like, hey, I got a degree from there too.
Pretty much, that it's not worth what you think it's worth.
It's sort of when people tell me they have a master's degree from Penn State, and I'm like, you know what? So do I. And then they look at me, and then they're like, wow, that doesn't seem so special anymore. But, well, the reason you're here, you're an entrepreneur, I would say, even one of my good friends here in this world, and in the marketing world, you do a very good job here. You have multiple different companies you're owning, and locally, I mean, you grew up in the Northern Virginia area, correct?
Yep, born and raised in Northern Virginia. My parents, after they graduated, my dad went to work for the federal government and moved straight down to Northern Virginia, which is where I was born and raised. Spent a tremendous amount of my childhood, though, in Eastern PA and Central PA. My dad's family's all from Philly and the burbs out that way, and my mom's family is all from basically York. So most of our childhood growing up, we spent time up there. And
so I get it. There's a huge Rudders and Wawa like fight in the family at Thanksgiving.
It's really all about Wawa. My folks now live in South Florida and Delray Beach, Florida. They go to Wawa every single day. It's not just for coffee. They'll spend 2-3 hours there, and it's just a social thing with their friends. And so, yeah, my mom did work at a Rudders growing up, being from York, but it's all in on Wawa and has been for 50 years.
Me being the large head I have can store a lot of stupid information here. So I talked to somebody yesterday, and they told me that the original Rudders property where they had their first dairy, that's when they started off as a dairy, was owned by the Penn family, as in William Penn's family.
How about that?
They bought that from him or from the Penn family, and they had their first Rudders, not what we know it as today, but one of their first dairies, and that's where they started. I mean, I was like, that's pretty damn cool.
I had no idea.
Yep. See, useless knowledge has come to Goon.
It's not useless. You're going to need that for a trivia night sometime. You know that.
Well, somebody just filled my head full of lies, which is obviously a possibility.
It's not lies anymore. Now we just called it fake news. So, it's
like
not a lie if you believe it.
If you say it enough, isn't a lie, right? Or if you believe it, yeah, you'd be all right. I'm with you on that. So, all right. So your father has the West Oak Lane, which is where my father had grown up here. Where you said your dad's East Oak Lane or West Oak Lane?
What? No, West Oak Lane.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. He went to Central High School in Philly, and Yeah, I mean,
came up here and then worked for the government and all. So then you. This is why I love it. This is why I have you on the show here. So anybody who knows me knows I enjoy a good cheesesteak. And I've lived here now for 21 years on top of when I was a student for 5 years. And before that was a young strapping fan here coming into the Penn State games in the mid-'80s. But it's always lacked a cheesesteak up here. So we've had enough people come into this town and try it. And you're down at Penn Steaks right now, one of the owners of Penn Steaks, and you have a hell of a damn cheesesteak, my man.
Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty much all of us have some sort of roots into Philly. And if you're gonna, well, there's lots of rules in business, but you got to have a great product first and foremost. That's really one of my number one sort of rules of being an entrepreneur. Whatever I'm going to get involved in, it's going to be the best. So if we're going to bring a cheesesteak, a great cheesesteak to State College, it's going to have to hold up to any of the best in Philly, because we all know that. I can't stand in front of them, my friends, family, and say, "Hey, come have my cheesesteak."
Come have my cheesesteak and have it served on a hot dog bun.
No.
I've literally had that happen to me in State College 20 years ago. I'm not going to give the name of the place, but I guess they had run out of what they were using was sausage buns, and it ended up being they put cheesesteak meat on a hot dog bun, and they tried to pass that off as a cheesesteak to me. And I was like, well, it's my own fault for ordering, for saying give me a cheesesteak. It's like going down to like somewhere and saying, oh, they have a Philly cheesesteak. I'm never going to order that, ever.
It's not going to hold up. It's going to fall apart in your hands. And every time I'm having a conversation with someone, they learn about this business, learn about Penn Steaks, usually the first question they ask is, what about your rolls?
Yep.
Whether I'm at my folks' place down in Florida or I travel all over the country for various reasons, and this will come up on occasion. And the first question, isn't it all about the roll? And I'm like, absolutely.
Well,
it's
meat
the roll.
is meat. Cheese is cheese. Like lettuce, tomato, onion. It's the roll that makes the difference on a cheesesteak and a hoagie.
Yep.
I mean, you're never going to convince me otherwise. I mean, look at me. This body does not come by eating vegetables, I mean, I'm not having a vegetarian hoagie, I'm going to go with the Italian hoagie or the cheesesteak. I want the cheesesteak. In my opinion, I got a little confession to make here. I think what you're seeing now with like the cheesesteak explosion, you go online on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, everybody doing these cheesesteak reviews, they're almost too freaking big.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but if I can't like function for an hour after eating a cheesesteak at lunch and I got to go back to work, I mean, how is that helping you? You know what I mean? If you got a half of a cheesesteak, half of it's on the ground and you can't finish the other half, it's a mutant cheesesteak. It's huge. And you guys got a great cheesesteak. It's perfect. It's simple, great tasting. And I got to talk to you. It's about the rolls. So give me the story on the rolls now, Bubba.
Proudly serve Lucio's, one of the OGs. We've seen a lot of change in that marketplace. We've seen some of the players get sold. Amoroso's got sold some time ago. Now basically they're distributed through grocery stores and it's not the same product. And Conchock and Bakery closed recently, which was very sad to see. My family partially being from Plymouth Meeting, that was just down the street.
Yep.
Just Lucio's is in our opinion the best game in town, and we have a bread oven, so we're bringing those rolls in. They're mostly par baked, and so then when we bake them fresh every day or finish baking them fresh every day,
yep,
it's just a wonderful experience. There are some great cheesesteak shops in Philly that are start to finish making their own bread, and that's great. Yeah. Not exactly scalable for us, for what we're trying to do in small constrained space in downtown State College, but it's a perfect relationship. We're selling, I forget the number, 50,000 cheesesteaks a year. So that's a lot of rolls. We're on their radar screen and we're very proud of it. So
are you under the impression that there's people in Philadelphia who swear, they say it's the water? Not just how you say it in Philadelphia, when water. But they say that the roll is made like that. You can make it in State College or in Center County or anywhere else, but the water is different in Philadelphia, so it makes the roll a little bit different. Like they say the same thing about bagels in New York City. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
I mean, being a Goldberg, I definitely
What?
have my opinion of bagels and what
Go
makes
ahead.
a good bagel. But I do believe it is the water. My uncle, my dad's brother, had an Amoroso route, and so this is what it's about, the water. Even the Philadelphia water ice, like it's the water. It's the water. I don't have the water quite as well because growing up in Northern Virginia.
Correct.
But it's the
Except
water.
you don't have a twang.
We bringing these rolls in from Philly fresh, the ones that we bring in fresh, and then we bring in some par baked and finish them here. We don't have to deal with that. It's being done for us.
That's beautiful
in the Philly and the burbs, and we're just super stoked about that. We have both there seated and non-seated, and they both perform well for us, and we love it.
So we are here with Jeff Goldberg here, one of the owners of Penn Steaks here in State College on Pew Street, right across from Doggies. I know I've talked to you about this, but Jeff, I don't even know if you, or I'm talking to Ironhead now, I don't know if you know this. You know the reason I moved to State College?
I know. I'm not going to.
I was going to buy the Penn State sub shop. Me and Brandon Noble were going to buy the Penn State sub shop. He was going to financially back it as he was playing for the Redskins at the time. He was winding down in a 9-year NFL career. And then I moved up here June 1st, 2005. Moved up here, and I was going to go buy the Penn State sub shop. But then I'm watching a preseason game or something like that, and I look at the game, and Noble's on. That's great. And then I saw a play, and I saw a pile, and I saw everybody screaming to the sideline, get over here, get over. When they start waving in the ambulance and the doctor's quick, it's not good. So I'm like, don't be Noble, don't be Noble, don't be Noble, don't be Noble. And there it was. It was like 92 degrees. Spun that way, the wrong way. Everything was destroyed. And there goes the NFL career, and there goes the Penn State sub shop, because he just had to rein everything in, so he wasn't going to go out and limb and get a cheesesteak joint. But it's literally has been a passion and a love of mine. I'm telling you, me and my friends, my little brother and my friend Harry, who now owns a restaurant in Ambler, we had talked for years about opening up a cheesesteak joint, and then State College was going to be, because we never had it. And then the three of us were going to drive back and forth 3 or 4 times a week to Philadelphia, because they weren't bringing Licio's up here then. It was Amoroso. It was okay. That's when Amoroso was still Amoroso. Mm-hmm. It wasn't corporate. But yeah, that's the reason I moved here. And everything got blown up. I started working in the weight room, went back and got my master's, and I met Pat Bolin, by the way, and then we started doing radio shows, and that's how I met the Ironhead, and look at what the hell I'm doing now. I'm an overweight, out-of-shape radio analyst.
That knows cheesesteaks.
But knows cheesesteaks, of course. I mean, I'm a hoagie guy, a hoagie connoisseur. Hoagies in this town are still behind. Yeah. Still Troy's Hoagies. Still. But in my era, any non-Philadelphia person loved CC Peppers. And it was like, I'm not dogging them out, but there's enough places nowadays in the State College area that have taken leaps and bounds above CC Pepper's cheesesteak opportunity. So, that's why I love you. That's why I have you on the air to talk. But the real reason we're here is I said you're an entrepreneur because you're involved in a lot of different stuff. So let's talk about Sky Devil Wines, baby.
Do I have to change my shirt for that?
There's a reason. Yeah, right? Sky Devil Wines, skydevilwines.com.
Yep.
Absolutely. And you have a chance, check it out. Read about it, but we'll talk about it right now. So, I mean, how did the wine thing come about, bro?
So
because this is where I'm.
I think I've turned you into an aficionado. You know good wine now. You're not going to drink terrible wine.
This is true.
So I kind of take responsibility for that.
It depends on what I'm looking for. I'm looking for quantity. I'm not going Sky Devil. I might go with the Devil's Sky. I might have the backup and stuff like that, but yeah.
Well, I got out of college, started working in the consulting field down in the Northern Virginia area, traveling around, expense account kind of stuff, and no different than learning how to play golf. It ends up being sort of a survival mechanism. And the one thing that I quickly realized is you're handed the wine menu at some point, and then if you don't pick the right thing, you sort of look foolish in front of your colleagues and maybe clients. And so future clients, yeah, you got it. So I did the first couple of times I was asked, hey, here, be handed the wine list and being told, hey, pick something for us.
Time out. Is that a business move? Do people do that in the business world to see what kind of person they're dealing with?
I'm not going to put somebody in that position because I think wine already is sort of snobby enough without that. But I wouldn't put it past the individual that did this with me. I remember exactly where this was. Exactly. Wow. I even remember the wine I chose. And it was really a good pick. It was a winery in Napa. That's where we are. But did he do it on, to sort of stump the chump me? Maybe. Like I was a young, 24, 25-year-old kid, relatively new in the consulting world. Let's see what you do. Now, what if I would have picked a $2,000 bottle of wine? Maybe that would have been fine. I don't know. But that didn't feel right. So I sort of, found that $125 bottle of wine on the menu. It was a restaurant in Orlando. And it was I was hooked from there. Yeah. And so as my career evolved and I could afford to consume better wine over time, I just became I loved it. I started learning about it. I took some classes at UC Davis, which is one of the top institutions in the U.S. for wine education, wine making.
What?
That was back 15.
There's college credits for being wine drinking?
I mean, you can get a degree in viniculture at UC Davis. That's the home of Robert Mondavi, probably the most famous wine name in all of American wine history. But absolutely. And I took some courses there on wine appreciation and wine regions of the world and how do we physiologically experience wine and things like that. And it was really fun. So it just was a passion of mine.
Awesome.
And I'm a fan of trying to, I am an entrepreneur, good, bad, or indifferent, depends on the day. But I am a fan of doing what you love. And I had the opportunity with my business partner, Matt, to start Sky Devil Wines. It's a little over 8 years ago. And the whole brand is to pay tribute to our family's 3 generations of Naval and Marine Corps aviators. So the F4U Corsair that is proudly on our bottles, it is our logo, our label. That was my grandfather's airplane, my dad's dad, so he's the Philly guy.
In World War II.
In World War II, yep. He was in Squadron VMF 311 in the South Pacific. And he kind of cared about 3 things in really no specific order. And my grandfather absolutely was and is my hero and will be forever. He cared about my brother and I, like he had 2 grandkids. He cared about us. He cared about the Marine Corps. And I don't really know what order.
We're not going to ask the order. We'll leave that one alone.
He kind of
you can talk to your shrink about that.
He cared about the Corps, and most Marines I know.
Sure.
Matt, my partner Matt is a retired Marine. It's just who they are, who we are, and so built a brand to allow us. My grandfather's been passed 30. It'll be 32 years later this year. He lived long enough to know that I got into Penn State. It was November of 1994 when he passed. He lived long enough to know that I got into Penn State. That was the end of it. And he, I know he'd be proud. But it allows me 31, 32 years later to sit in front of groups of people, to sit here next to you and talk about him. And so that legacy, that heritage, that's what the brand is all about. I didn't even talk about how great the wine is. You did that for me. So I don't have to talk about that.
Dude, it's absolutely off the charts for me. I love it. It's a great wine. It is not a sloppy wine. It's not just like, hey, pour this into the gravy on Sunday. You know what I mean? It's not. We're not going that route. It's definitely an unbelievably great tasting wine. It's not anything wine season. Not anything red wine season.
It's not red wine season, but hey, listen, like with the right meal, the right restaurant, any day is a good wine day. But yeah, summer typically isn't the best time for our big reds. But hey, we do make a Sauvignon Blanc that's a great wine for a day like today.
Is that in my box of treasures?
It's not
in
your box of treasures. Oh. You have 3 or 4 of our different cabs in your box of treasures.
Okay.
The normal lineup, your normal go-to, and then a few of our flagship products.
Absolutely love it. It's outstanding. But I got to get back. I mean, we didn't talk about what is a Sky Devil? That's just the story I love, and this is the ultimate homage to your grandfather. And I love the story of that, having a cousin who was a Marine Corps pilot and knowing they're very similar people, I'm sure. They still love the Corps. Till the day they die, they will absolutely love the Corps. And every Marine I know is so proud of his Marine Corps history. I work with Jeff Byers. I mean, Jeff is the voice of Penn State wrestling. I am as far a monster fan of wrestling as you get, but I'm into it. I really appreciate it. I go to the Nationals every year with my friends. These guys they wrestled at Nationals back in the 80s. So the bond that wrestlers have across the country, and I'm not just talking Penn State wrestlers, I'm talking about Penn State wrestlers talking to somebody from Stanford. You know, it's usually the ears that'll dead giveaway. You know what I mean? It's like when you get into a fight, you see wrestlers' ears. I'm going to back off a little bit, but no. But the culture that wrestling has is like, hey man, you were on the mat, and then football players have this too. I always talk to football players at any level, collegiate football that they played, any level. I'm like, dude, yes, you're my guy. You're my kind of people because you understand, and that's the way the Marine Corps is. It's like you all went through the same training. Everything was the same, and this and that, and you survived, and it was about being a brotherhood and stuff like that. So the Marine Corps is tight like that, and it's beautiful, and I love it. But the Sky Devil thing is one of my favorite parts of the whole story.
It's sort of a folk tale. The story of how we got to where we are today really goes all the way back 250, soon to be 251 years. Devil Dogs. U.S. Marines Devil Dogs. That's a name that's been 250 years. In the early 1900s, when Marines started flying, and this is the folk part of the tale here. They started becoming known as Devil Dogs of the Air, Devil Dogs of the Sky, and then it evolved into Sky Devil. And that there was TV shows in the 50s and 60s. I think one was called Sky Devil, and that was mostly dramatizing probably the most famous Marine Corps aviation squadron, the Black Sheep, Black Sheep. Yeah, so
one of my favorite shows growing up.
Pappy Boyington, Boyington. 214.
The Japanese guy chasing him. Hey Boyington, Boyington.
So Sky Devils became a little bit more well known in the middle 1900s, and we adopted it. And this is really like it was kind of obvious for us. Matt and I were actually the concept for this company actually was we hatched the idea. Believe it or not, we were in Israel in 2016, and we were there as part of our sort of previous day jobs working with the federal government. And so we were there with a delegation, and we were at the bar in Tel Aviv and talking. And him and I shared a lot of passion for wine and being entrepreneurs, and that's where we launched it. And he was still an active reservist at that point, so he was still flying for the Marine Corps
pilot.
Active reservist.
Okay.
Yep, reservist. He got off active duty in 2010, 11. I can't remember exactly.
There was nothing going on,
but he's still right. Exactly. He'd punch you in the face if he was sitting right here.
Sure.
So it was odd. I mean, we still have the napkin that has Sky Devil scribbled on it with the Corsair scribbled on it, and it doesn't look all that dissimilar from what a year and a half later when we started the company, what the label actually looks like. So this is that napkin idea in a bar in a faraway land where this idea was hatched, and it didn't take that much longer till we started. It was about a year and a half later we started the company.
We have all been there with the napkins on bar ideas. So the Devil Dog thing, I love it. Because I'll tie my grandfather into it. So in World War I, when the Germans started calling the Marine Corps the Devil Dogs, which has sort of been debunked, I guess, but it was at Belleau Wood, and that's where my grandfather was in the United States Army. He part of the 28th Division. That's the shrine down here in Boalsburg. He was over there, and that's where the Marine Corps. The Devil Dogs, what the Germans were calling them, they fight like dogs and they won't leave. And it's absolutely amazing. So, and then having family members in the Marine Corps, I just had my cousin Bobby, his son just got named into a Marine aviator. So I maybe we'll package a bottle of wine up for him and stuff like that.
Well, thank him for his service, Semper Fi.
Oh man. So now Oh yeah. Besides all the wine and the restaurant, you guys are doing great at Penn Stakes, and you guys do a ton of stuff for the NIL. And you have definitely, when you say you're an entrepreneur, you have lent your expertise in that department to try and raise money for these NIL stuff. And it was actually the NIL wine we had was actually the first bottle I had.
Mm-hmm.
So where did this come from? How did that get involved and all that jazz, my brother?
Well, as this NIL thing started becoming talked about more and more, it's really everyone that's a business owner, an entrepreneur, if they're committed to a university, committed to a city, a town, especially such a state college, such a college town that has just tremendous amount of pride in it and pride in the university and pride in the sports teams, NIL became a thing, and you have to ask yourself, what can I do? So I mean, I'd been sort of wondering why most universities in the early 2020s, even in the late teens, nobody's really doing much with alcohol. And I get that. I get that universities and student athletes, they're not going to do anything or largely do anything with alcohol and tobacco and products such as that. But we drink. We drink wine, we drink beer, we drink. So how do we, A, sell a product to people that are already buying product, and B, I call it the self-licking ice cream cone. Give back. So we created the Happy Valley United product in partnership with Happy Valley United, the organization, the official collective of Penn State athletics. And a portion of sales from that product goes straight back to student athletes as part of the NIL program. So it's been really a great partnership. It hasn't really scaled maybe the way I expected it to. The market has been changing, wine products, things like that. Consumption behaviors have been changing, but we're still very proud of it. It's a great product. TBD what the future has in store for it. But we just believe, the Sky Devil believes in it. We want to replicate that concept with other universities that we're affiliated with. Matt and his wife both went to USC. Matt went to undergraduate at Princeton. That's where he was in ROTC. You heard me talk about William & Mary. My wife went to George Mason Law School. What we didn't talk about is the winery's, probably a perfect segue, the winery's philanthropy. So that's sort of the third leg of the stool. We were going to make a great wine. We were going to pay tribute to our family's legacy and heritage of serving in the Marine Corps and Navy specifically. And we were going to do good. We didn't really know what that meant at the time, 8+ years ago. But what we knew it was going to mean is giving back to veterans in the way that meant the world to Matt and I. And that was entrepreneurial interests. That's the type of money that veterans don't have as easy access to. They have access to money for school. But if they want to start a business or they need to hire a marketing agency to help them with a pitch deck for venture cap, that's not normal money that they have access to. So 2020 rolls around. We all know what was going on then. Sky Devil was about 2.5, 3 years old. And we finally sort of put our flag on the moon, so to speak, even though we wrote this on the back of our very, very, very first wine label, the rear label, and it's still on there to this day, that we were going to be giving back to veterans. 2020, we established the Sky Devil Wines Veteran Entrepreneurship Fund at the College of Business here at Penn State.
Yep, that's where I was last year. Me and Carrie came to that event.
Yep. We were celebrating two of our veteran recipients, the 2024 and 2025 recipients. That was really that was the first time we got to meet our recipients and hear what they were doing in their day jobs. Both of them, at least one of them, was still an active reservist Navy, but really proud of that. So that's kind of the idea here is, can we do the philanthropy and the NIL? They're two different things, but why not? Why do we have to choose?
And you keep it in the Penn State house, and that's the best part about it, I think. But is it just the Penn State people? Is there anywhere else?
No, right now it is we're all in on Penn State. Okay. We do hope to replicate that let's call it the style, the theme of veteran entrepreneurs at all Princeton, USC. We won't say USC in a few months, but until then, at USC, Princeton, William & Mary, and George Mason.
All right. Well, Jeffrey, I really appreciate it, brother. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for my delivery here. I'll put it to good use. Trust me, it'll go down just fine. So yeah, we really appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you very much. And
Appreciate it.
Obviously, good luck with the businesses and all the wine, the cheesesteaks, all this stuff, bro.
Wine and cheesesteaks go together. Come on down, have a cheesesteak.
Absolutely. I highly recommend the cheesesteaks, and I highly recommend the wine. Website one more time, how to order it.
The wine.
It's not at the LC Beer yet, right?
Not yet. Skydevilwines.com. We are in the State College area. We're proudly at the Ale House, and if you happen to find yourself at the Ninny Line Inn, their house wine, the Scholar Hotels wine, we made that for them proudly. There's a couple other places. The Penn State Golf Course has had one of our keg products. So we're making our way throughout the state, but really focusing on a couple of key cities here across the Commonwealth.
Well, Brute, I love it, brother. We appreciate it, man. Let me make sure here we're going to be here. I'm going to try this, Jeff. I think this is the right one. We'll see. We appreciate.
You look a bit nervous, hey?
Thierry, what's it like to stand in the FIFA World Cup stadium?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Just tell me. Come on.
It's not something that you can put into words.
Such a tease.
You can't rush it. You will find out when it's your time.
Thanks for the wisdom, coach. So, how much longer?
Now go and make history, my man. Here's the World Cup you've been waiting for.
Actually, the World Cup's been waiting for me.
That's the spirit. Just remember who drove you here.
Inspiring every step of the next legend. The official matchball carrier, proudly sponsored by Kia. Inspiration connects us all.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning Lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox State College.
And back on a Thursday afternoon. It is Arts Festivals week here in the Valley of Happiness. You are watching and or listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. Again, we are at Quaker Steak and Lube, our favorite place to be. And so that's where we hang out on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can come on down and see us here from 2 to 4 at Quaker Steak and Lube. I branched out today, Goon, on the menu.
I didn't want to say anything. I was looking over there, and I gave you a half hour off to look at you.
Yeah, I took advantage. Terrific opening half hour, by the way. That is one of my favorite things. Quick tangent. I know. Sure. I know you're shocked. Wait, what?
Yep.
A tangent on the Goon and Ironhead show? Yep.
From
every now and then.
From Ironhead.
Pretty much from every minute of the show's existence. But one of my favorite things with wineries and nowadays breweries as well is learning how they get the names of particular beers or wines, and then but also the stories behind the names of the breweries or the wineries. And there's almost always there's always a story, but it's usually an intriguing story that it's, oh man, that is a really cool story. And that certainly a very cool story with Sky Devil
You
wines.
just wish you met the guy who started Sly Dog, and just to meet his dog.
Well,
you know what I mean? That's one Sly cat right there.
But I branched out today.
Hold on. Okay.
Yep.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, just real quick. So we talk about that. They do have a wonderful menu. I get hooked on, obviously, the wings are a staple and always part of the weekly diet here at Quaker Steak and Lube. But I've become hooked on their signature salad with the I like getting the steak with it, and then they have an orange chicken bowl that is just phenomenal. So I kind of have wings, yes, but pretty much going back and forth between the orange chicken bowl and the steak signature salad. Excuse me. Today, I'm like, Rachel, let me see the menu. Just I have a little bit more time with the first part of the show going elsewhere, and so the chili just I'm like, I just need to try that. It's a jalapeno chili, and it is very meaty, very good. If you need to like hot stuff, which I do, if you're not into the spices, at the very least, pick the jalapenos out. But man, it really hit the spot. And just did a little side salad. And when I say a little side salad, that's not doing it justice. That is, I don't know. I've had lots of their salads. I don't know that I ever ordered the side salad. I did not realize how big their side salad is.
Maybe a side salad might be the way you go next week.
Excuse me, it may be a meal unto itself. But anyways, highly recommend now the chili
the chips
and the side salad. All wonderful stuff.
Dipping the red, white, and blue nacho chips and tortilla chips in there.
So
I went. You know what I went with today?
What did you do?
Gyro.
I was looking
some
at
would
that.
call it a gyro. I call it a gyro.
I was looking at that. I was looking at the shrimp tacos, and I think I'm going to do the shrimp tacos next week now because
you get the extra half hour. I take overtime.
It's a whole new world.
Bringing in a wine guy, a cheesesteak guy here. Ironhead comes in. He's like, "Wow, this place is great. Look at the food."
I'm telling you.
To be honest, we get done a segment and Ironhead rips down the orange chicken.
Yep.
In his 3 4-minute breaks, and I'm always like, man. Wish you could actually enjoy your food every once in a while.
Oh, I enjoy it. I enjoy it thoroughly. But yeah, it's
Oh, so
it is nice to eat a meal every now and then in just one quick setting.
This is true. So I do want to update that Jeffrey Goldberg was just here from Penn Steaks and Sky Devil Wines. Fantastic guy, good friend of mine. But he's down at Penn Steaks, and this weekend, I mean, this is a big weekend, obviously, for downtown, as we all know. So they actually have some football players down there doing some autographs from 3 to 5, I believe, today. Yeah, and they're having they bought in a milkshake truck. So they're gonna have Penn Shakes for the weekend.
Oh,
and I said, dude, that sounds so good on a hot damn day.
Now we're talking.
On a hot day, walking around downtown, looking at some art, going to some different places and stuff. Stopping by and getting a milkshake at Penn Steaks would be absolutely amazing. So
it is hard to beat a good milkshake. I mean,
you saw me here when I just had my neck surgery and my throat was all banged up. I was getting those milkshakes during the halfway through the show. They saved me, Ironhead.
I
had to have those
understand.
1,400 calorie shakes just to cool my throat, honey.
We have World Cup quarterfinal action starting this afternoon, right as we go off the air. It's Mexico and Morocco, right, today. I think that's the 4 o'clock game. And then there's one quarterfinal tomorrow, and then the doubleheader on Saturday. Excuse me, I got something just caught my throat. It's driving me crazy, and it's going to now drive you crazy. I apologize. Wimbledon also continuing, and Major League Baseball, of course. Pirates finishing up the series with the Braves this afternoon, down 6-4. And I didn't see. They went right into the rain delay after that last. Thought the Pirates might have been going yard, and instead, just a deep play. How about Ryan O'Hearn in the series opener, though? On Tuesday night, Pirates win at 12-4, but O'Hearn had the first 10 runs of the game. One of the more interesting
10 RBIs.
One of the more
amazing.
What was amazing about it to me, and it's like, all right, well, 10 RBI, that is obviously a big deal. There have been more perfect games thrown in Major League Baseball than there have been games where one player had 10 runs driven in. I think, if I'm remembering it right, I'm not 100% sure I am, but I think there's been 24 perfect games in Major League Baseball history. With O'Hearn's performance in the series opener, there have now been 17 10 RBI games in Major League history. It really is, because a perfect game obviously is a rarity and a big deal. But yeah, a 10 RBI game is actually more rare. And, Hearn hit a grand slam in his first at bat, then a couple of 3-run homers, and then I think it was a ground out, if I'm remembering the fourth at bat, and then did get a single in his fifth at bat. So it was 4 for 5 on the night with 3 home runs. 10 RBI. That's what we call a productive night at the plate. And at one point,
I'd say so.
It was O'Hearn 10 and the Braves 2.
And it's over the Braves, which made me happy. So and then they follow that up last night with what? A perfect game through 6.
Yeah, 7? but could not generate any offense of their own, and so
perfect game. He leaves. It's 0-0. They pull him, and then they give up.
Yep, unfortunately. So trying to come back here now today from a 6-4 deficit and see if they can take the series and win the finale and maybe head into the All-Star break with a little momentum if they could somehow take at least 2 of 3 against the Brewers this weekend as well. So we'll see. Again, feels like an important stretch leading into the All-Star break just to try to get the fans as well as the team in a good frame of mind heading into what we refer to as the second half of the season. It's more like the final 2/5 of the season. We're well past
the last 20 years.
The midway
it's been the
point.
baton death march through the July and August for you.
For the Pirates, that is a fact. We'll see. The health obviously bit of a concern, and the bullpen remains a glaring concern heading into the second half, what's referred to as the second half of the season, which again will get underway next weekend. And Pirates again right now trailing 6-4 to the Braves, and I guess in a rain delay. I didn't see the tarp. I had my back turned. I was watching the
you were cheering on
Wimbledon,
what you thought was a homer, and then they get a left
center
fielder.
I
came
did.
out
I
and
thought
bang,
for a
bang,
moment,
made
I'm
the
like,
play,
here
and then there we go, and then
well.
Who the Buckos got this weekend? Wait, I
The
knew this
Brew
Milwaukee,
Crew.
right?
Yeah,
the Brew Crew. Big weekend. Well, you know what? Honestly, God, they already split with the Braves, and that's when I was busting your chops the other day about, this is time for you guys to play in the Braves and Milwaukee, two league leaders, and there you go. I mean, split with the Braves so far. Today, you're going for the win of the series. Can't beat that.
Well, they need to get a little momentum built here, and that's been the challenge. It's just been. They've been very consistent, being right around the 500 mark for the last month and a half, and it'd be nice to see them make a little bit of a move before the break, and then obviously coming out of the break, try to really build some momentum here.
I was already thinking of excuses for you. That's you're going to get hot before the All-Star break, and then you're going to get the 3 days. I went to crap.
Again, Connor Griffin being out is not going to help the cause. You'd like to stay relevant until Griffin comes back, so that his return means something in terms of any kind of a playoff race. So that's the hope. Fingers crossed. We'll see how it all plays out in the Berg this summer. How concerned are you? It's been interesting. I think fans just generally, and I count myself as a fan, we get worked up about stuff, and probably generally speaking, right? We talk about the best coaches, the best athletes are those that can keep an even keel, not get too high in the good times, not get too low when you're struggling, kind of keep that perspective and all of that. I will say there are a lot of people that are, I won't say they're hitting the panic button with Matt Campbell with the recent departures, but there is growing concern as to what is going on the recruiting front here for Penn State. And when you start losing somebody who has already committed to you, says, nah, you know what, after further consideration, I'm going to go to Rutgers. Like, I get it. I mean, it's one thing. You're not happy if, hey, I'm going to go to Texas or I'm going to Ohio State. You're not happy about that. But there is a part of you, if you're honest, it's like, well, I can kind of understand. Rutgers that's an eye-opener because that one feels like, all right, James Franklin used to talk about it. If a coach leaves,
yep.
Right, he wanted it to be a clear step up. You don't want a tight ends coach leaving here to take a tight ends coach job at any school, but certainly not at a school that has been consistently below you in the rankings or standings. And I think that certainly would apply on the recruiting front as well. Again, you don't want to lose any recruit, period. But it does have a different feel to it when you're starting to lose out on those battles to a school like Rutgers. No disrespect to you Rutgers fans, but I mean, come on.
It's all you know what it's money. It's that's not happening anytime within the last 6 years or however long NIL has been. It's not happening. Rutgers is not going to swoop in and take somebody from Penn State. You know, a Michigan, an Ohio State, a Florida, a Miami, maybe Notre Dame. It's all about it's 100% money. It's insane and it's crazy. I will give you the story again. I don't know if I used the names last year, and I won't again, at least this time, is that, you know, one of the top players for Penn State last year's recruiting class did not come here. He went to another school, and then I may or may not know his father.
Yep.
And he called me and said, "You're not going to believe this." But he said, a school just called me, asked me, you know, they found out what he was getting from an offer from Penn State and then an offer from somebody else. And then a third school came in. Never once, not one time, did they ever speak to this kid on the phone, on a visit, in his school, anywhere. Not one time did they ever have any contact with this guy whatsoever. They went to him and said, "We'll give you $3 million if you sign with us right now."
Wow.
And that was just to say F you to the schools that were involved. We can go in and get this kid if we want. And he said no. Now, you got to give the kid a lot of respect for standing on his morals, but that's the way it is. I mean, when you have zero relationship with this kid, and you come in there and say, we're gonna give you $1 million more or triple the money that this school is offering, like, that's insane. What world are we living in, man? It's professional sports. I mean, we got to start saying it is no longer college football right now. When you're losing guys to Rutgers, and by the way, the other kid that went to Nebraska, okay, have you ever seen one of those POSs do the hat thing at any school? Fake the hat, and then throw the hat like nothing. And then we've had kids do it at Penn State. I have seen kids do it for Penn State.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling you, I have never seen one of those kids succeed. Like, you know what I mean? It's like there's been like you may as well put a target on yourself. Like, I'm sorry, that he's going to Nebraska, but when they play in Penn State, I hope our kids remember that. I hope they remember that.
Just in general, with any of that stuff, and especially in today's world, right, where things can change so quickly, and now you can move so easily.
Yep.
I just think even the perception, and I'm not saying he actually burned bridges with that because I don't know that he did, but I just think those that are advising young people, you need to step in. This is just, again, unsolicited advice.
You're thinking, don't do this.
But yeah, just listen, be classy. Yep. Number one, like it reflects poorly on you. And yeah, and then Penn State has had kids do it. And I'm not saying, like, none of these kids, I'm not saying they're bad kids or they're not great individuals and they don't conduct themselves. I'm just saying, like, it puts you in a bad light. Why do it? Mm-hmm. And you don't need to. And it doesn't. Kid, yeah. I think that's where hopefully you have some adults that you can trust around you that are able to say, listen, for one thing, yeah, we're all in on Nebraska right now and we love them. But what if Matt Rule does end up leaving for another job? Wow, he's not leaving, Iron. Okay. Have you paid attention to the college sports world? Not saying I'm expecting it. I'm saying things change quickly. And I just think you want to keep your options open.
Sure.
Number one. And I think you want to reflect well on yourself. Number two, like you want to be perceived as, oh yeah, that's a kid, yeah, I'm sorry he went to that other school, but man, seems like a good dude. Rather than seems like a jerk. Seems like if you're a Penn State fan or if you're a fan of any school that gets the hat thrown away or set aside, like it's just not necessary. And I don't think it's also one of those things. And you've talked about you want. When somebody celebrates on the field, it always feels better if you at least feel like, hey, this is just an authentic, spur of the moment type of thing, rather than a well orchestrated, planned out. and it's kind of the same thing. Like, all right, maybe the first kid that did that, it's like, oh man, that was clever. All right, it's been done to death. Like,
you're
just
talking
stop
about
it.
the
Like
NCAA,
with,
the hoops, yeah, I got you.
No, with the
celebrations.
But I'm saying with the hat now, like, or the clothing, like, all right, it's been done. People have, again, maybe the first time it was like, that actually was clever or whatever. Again, you might not be happy about it. Well, now it's not clever. You're just copying what and to me, it's been overdone at this point. Just put the hat on of the school that you want to go to and be done with it.
You're right.
Is my humble suggestion.
Say Matt Rule is gone, or the kid does not have a success at Nebraska, doesn't like his teammates. You've already burned a bridge with a team you committed to.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was like, it was 5 schools. He had committed to Penn State, so he had already liked Penn State enough to commit one time. But now this is where I'm at now too. Like, I talk about when guys enter the transfer portal, how do these kids in the locker room handle that? I'm going to tell you, the way it was back in the day is that kid wouldn't be allowed in the locker room if he wasn't on our team. Now, the kids nowadays, it's like, hey, it's a business decision.
Yeah.
They made a business decision. And I get it. It is a business decision. I get it. I understand it. But I'm like, I shouldn't be happy about it. I don't want you in my locker room. You're not part of my team. So, like, when I was playing, get on my boomer horse here, there was a kid in the high school in the Harrisburg area who was going to Stanford. John Ritchie was going to Stanford or Michigan, Notre Dame. Well, there was 2 fullbacks who played, Edwards and Ritchie. They're both out of the Harrisburg area, Pennsylvania guys.
Yep.
And they both talked mad crap about Penn State, like, oh, I'm going to Michigan. And we're not even allowed to use the words Penn State at Michigan.
Yeah.
This and that. You're not allowed to do this. And I came back to Penn State in 2005. And Tony Hunt came walking through the locker room one day, and I'm like, Tony, what the hell are you wearing? And he was wearing like a Michigan shirt. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And he's like, oh man, my boy. I'm like, dude, no. I was like, get that off. I said no. And then this is when in 2005 they hadn't played Michigan in 2 years or something like that. And I'm not lying to you. Levi Brown for like the first 4 months, I moved there in June and I worked in the weight room. He's like, "Ooh, man, why don't you like Michigan, man? What's up with that? What's up with that?" And then we get on the field playing together, and he comes off the field. He goes, "Man, I know what you mean. They a bunch of a-holes." You know what I mean? And I was just like, "Yeah." It's just like they think that they have this aura about themselves on and off the field, and that we should be bowing to them. And I was like, they didn't understand it when I got mad at Tony wearing it. But then afterwards, they were like, "Okay, I get it now." And then it's angst and hate, and like that's just how locker rooms are. And I just don't see that being the case anymore right now. I'm sorry, that kid who showed up last night comes to Penn State. I'm telling you, I don't know how I would react as a player.
I hear you. But it is a different world.
Yes, it is. And it's a business decision. No doubt in my mind, that's the Nebraska kid, but the kid going to Rutgers, I mean, there's no way in my mind that's not money. The Rutgers didn't come in and say, I know what they're giving you. We're going to give you this much more. And it's a business decision. I got to take this. I got to do it.
So here is my question. And I guess I'm not inside enough anymore or follow it closely enough. But what is concerning, and reading through some of the message boards over the last 24 hours or so, we have talked quite a bit. I've talked quite a bit about, listen, you don't need to be, I don't believe, like the top dog to be the team to beat when it comes to NIL stuff. Like, you don't have to be paying top dollar, but you got to be competitive.
Yeah.
My question is, has Penn State, what has happened here, or has something happened where Penn State, like, is Penn State not having the resources? And I'm talking about the resources on the NIL front, not stadium and everything else. I'm saying to pay the players. Is Penn State really not only not keeping up with the Georgias and the Ohio States of the world, but at a point where they can't match what Rutgers or Nebraska is giving? And again, it's a particular athlete. Again, I don't know what all. Maybe Rutgers is just going all in on this one guy, hoping that I don't know. Yeah. But I would think, Penn State would be, hey, they're offering you, and again, completely making up the number, $800,000. All right, we'll give you $750,000, but it's Penn State. So on the back end of that, if you have some success here versus at a Rutgers or a Nebraska, like, and, again, I've talked about it. Like, I think what happens with at least some of the teams, like I think the wrestling team, because the wrestlers are not promised a lot. And again, I don't know what exactly the negotiations are. And they are negotiations these days. I get it. But I think what happens is, all right, it's like, hey, we're not going to match what you're being offered here or there, but talk to our guys. We want you to be the best you can be. That's our sell. And then I think they talk to the guys, and it's like, well, yeah, you might get X amount, but wrestling is a big deal here, and so there's this much earning opportunity here, there, everywhere else, because, and yeah, all of the guys that are starters and really all 30 on the roster, this is what you can actually expect. They're under promising, but they're going to over deliver. And I think that, again, that conversation, I'm assuming, goes on everywhere. And there are places, undoubtedly, that I don't know offhand, but I mean, there just have to be, with the number of schools and coaches that are out there, places where they are over promising and under delivering. Yeah. Always better in any business. And in any walk of life, with any element of life, always under-promise and over-deliver where you can. That is going to leave people with a much, much better impression than if you promise something that you can't quite deliver on. If you're a pizza delivery company and I'm calling you and you're like, hey, we're going to get you, it's going to be, we'll get it to you as soon as we can, but it could be 45 minutes. And then you get there in 35. I'm like, oh, man, cool. That was awesome. You tell me you're going to be there within 30 and it's 35. It's like, well, now I have a different impression of you. Same amount of time, same pizza, same quality, all of that. But, yeah, give me a legitimate idea. And, again, you're going to make people happier.
And you always remember the over-promisers. Trust me. You remember them a lot more. Because when they infuriate you, it gets you. All right. I'll tell you, I want to come back because I got some NIL stuff, and that in my mind, I'm like, we can work through this, but like, I overuse this term. And you and I have always talked about this. I use that term all the time, but we do. And maybe Penn State is the kind of team where they just took in 34 veteran players from Iowa State. They weren't cheap. You had to pay them. Are we backladen with we don't have the money, to give freshmen?
I don't know.
Where it's like, hey, we're going to go with the school. Like, it can go as far as this and say, and this is where I'm at. I personally believe that these offensive line is the hardest position to recruit in collegiate football. easily
always has
the
been.
hardest position. to recruit.
Always has been.
And I'll just give you the example. And I'm talking to the fans out there listening right now, and that is, and you heard me say it, Jeffrey, and that is that take myself. I'm playing against a guy who is 6'1", 200 pounds in high school. I was 6'7",
right,
270 pounds in high school. You know, I was as fast as their running backs and this and that. I was bigger, stronger, faster. I never had it. Well, I did have to go against guys my own size, but there are enough guys who play like the single A and double A football in Pennsylvania, in New York, New Jersey, wherever we're recruiting from, who do not play against anybody their own size, their own speed, their own strength. And you have no idea how they're going to handle it. And I have seen more 5-star recruits at Penn State on the offensive line wash out than 5 stars that made it.
I also think it is harder. Yes, for sure. And I think part of what makes it difficult, even in this day and age, because we have more information now, high school kids are getting more exposure than ever. But like, you know, at a 7-on-7 camp, again, there's other factors. So I'm not saying it always translates, because you might have a quarterback that looks great in a 7-on-7 drill, and then you get
or a wide receiver who catches everything across the middle, because he's not going to get hit.
Right. So, but you can see the speed, you can see the size and all of that, and you get a pretty good idea. Again, most of the time, it's going to translate pretty well. Exceptions always. But you're not going at the camps, like when Penn State puts on its football camp, you're not getting those one-on-one matchups. And even if you are with the linemen, again, it's in a given day, given week. It's like, well, how hard was that guy training over the course of the year versus, you know, maybe you have somebody that. So I think it's always, and even now, again, with all of the information and all of the camps that are available, it's still, I think, more difficult to assess. All right, this guy really is going to be able to translate at the big time college level, because you need strength, but you need to know the leverage, how to, and some guys are more coachable than others, right? I mean, not like some are willing to, all right, my gosh, this worked at the high school level. I understand it's not going to work, and I have to work on this or that. And some kids just, it's like, well, no, it's always worked, and it's just eventually it's going to work here, and it's not. But you know, they just have it in their head that's, I don't need to listen. This is what's always worked, and that's why they end up washing out. So I do think it's still, I think it always has been, but I think it still is.
So I
by
would
far
love
the most
to know, and
difficult to assess.
I hope that I can probably get a good feel for all of these questions that I have, because the next week's our football Letterman's weekend. So all the coaches are involved, the whole staff and stuff like that. So they're going to be out with us golfing and out with us for dinner and stuff like that. So, you know, I can sit there with you know, somebody and just talk to them for a half hour and say, because to finish my point, and that is that with the offensive line, you don't know what you're going to get. You do not know. So it's, do we as Penn State, as a team, say, okay, well, we're going to hold out and save more of our money for the transfer portal. And I say offensive line-wise, that is the way to go.
Yeah.
Why risk a 3 or 4 star offensive line that you don't know? Yes, I know Steve Wisniewski and Jeff Hardings and Mike Munchak weren't like super stars coming in. Jeff was maybe a 2-star out of Ohio. You know, 2-time All-American here, 3-time All-Big Ten. But you're not going to find those. I mean, they are one in a million type of guys. So it's like, okay, are we putting our money? And I'm going to try and ask these questions next week. Are we putting our money into the high school recruiting or into the transfer portal recruiting? Because I personally would go into the portal every year and say, okay, let's get our offensive lineman from there, because I want to see a kid. You go to the MAC, you go to the AAC, you go to the Big 12, you go to the ACC, and, you know, say, hey, this kid had a pretty good damn year, and look at the guys he's playing against. He played against Alabama one time last year. Let's put that game on there. And you're going to see a kid who's a freshman or a sophomore Does he compete? Could he play here? This and that. And you're getting a known commodity. You go out and you pay for that,
right?
Rather than risk going out on a high school offensive lineman. That's just my feeling. That's just me.
Yeah.
And it's a tough position to recruit. So maybe we are leaving more money out there in the portal than we are going after high school players. And, we are stuck in our ways of recruiting. Like, oh, my God, we don't have the numbers and this and that. But you don't know what Campbell's doing. We don't know. We have no idea what his game plan is. I have none.
Yeah.
Hopefully he does. But, that's just the way it is with the recruiting, man. I personally would get my offensive line from the portal. Unless you got a kid who's playing in I'm going to say a 6A school in Pennsylvania, I'm okay because you're playing against guys who are bigger and stronger as you. You know what I mean? You're going to get that feel. But when you have that guy who's my size in a 2A or a 1A has not played against anybody even remotely close to him. And if he is not dominating the game, is he an ass kicker?
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's just,
Real quick, I have to tell you a story on the under promise and over deliver front. So we go down to the same beach area every summer, our family, and there was a restaurant, and this is going back now 3 or 4 years ago. They have concerts on Sunday evening, and so we usually go out and we like listening to the music. Well, there's a restaurant right near there, and so we went there and waited a little bit in line, and they're like, hey, we can get you a table. We're like, that's great. We wanted a table outside so we could listen. So waitress comes over, and waitress is like, I apologize. I will take your order, but we are running behind tonight. We're like, it is no problem. We are here. We want some beverages, and we're just here to relax. We've got all night, so no worries. She's like, okay, takes our dinner order, and I am not kidding you. It was within 5 minutes we had our dinner. And I'm thinking, I really thought it was going to be like a 45-minute to an hour wait, which we've had at other places other times, not expecting that. Yeah. I'm expecting it here, and it was the quickest service I've ever had at any restaurant outside of a fast food chain ever. And we still laugh about it. It's what do you want to go and wait for the 5 minutes if there's a long line? But that's the thing. Every now and then.
Yeah.
But now we'll never have any hesitation going there because it was, man, they underpromised and over-delivered in a huge way. And the food was wonderful. It's but I also have some experiences, some places around here where you go in and it's yep, it'll be right out. And then it's half an hour later, it's is the order still in? And oh yeah, it'll be just a couple more minutes. And it's another 10. It's okay, I don't know that I want to go back there because again, those impressions are tough to overcome. Mm-hmm. Either way. Good impressions or bad impressions. Just again, we're just full of helpful tips today. Under promise, over deliver. Definitely the way to go. We're coming right back after this.
You look a bit nervous, eh?
Thierry, what's it like to stand in the FIFA World Cup stadium?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Just tell me. Come on.
It's not something that you can put into words.
Such a tease.
You can't rush it. You will find out when it's your time.
Thanks for the wisdom, coach. So, how much longer?
Now go and make history, my man. Here's the World Cup you've been waiting for.
Actually, the World Cup's been waiting for me.
That's the spirit. Just remember who drove you here.
Inspiring every step of the next legend. the official matchball carrier, proudly sponsored by Kia. Inspiration connects us all.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning Lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox, State College.
And back here on a Thursday afternoon, looking forward to checking out the arts festivals in the State College and Boalsburg areas this weekend. Also, Heritage Days going on over in Phillipsburg. Lots to see and do and check out here in Center County over the coming days. Welcome to all of those coming in for the festivals. Hope you have a great time.
They're in.
There are a couple folks that are in. I will say it is very rare, for as much as people, including me, like to complain about parking downtown. It is very rare that I can't actually find a spot within a block or two of where I'm trying to go. Yesterday, of course, was Children's Day, and so my wife's foundation was part of the stuff going on at the Parklet. And so I came down later in the day to try to meet up with the Mad Turtle and my lovely wife, and it took a while to find a spot. I'm like, drove around the block once. I'm like, all right, I'll just go to the garage. Nope, garage was full. So
and the garage is using higher rates too.
Well, yeah, and then what I forgot about it, I as soon as I saw it, I remembered. But I'm like, people probably don't know about some of the folks coming in from out of town. Probably don't know about some of the free parking on some of the streets down below. But those are now vendor parking, which is appropriate. I don't misunderstand. The vendors need to park nearby. I get it. I kind of forgot about that part. So it's like the streets that I'm like, I'm going to out sneak everybody. It's like, nope, this is vendor parking only. And they have the signs posted. It's like, oh, this is going to take a little while. So anyways, he eventually found a spot.
I have a confession, Jeffrey.
Well. Yep.
I have never been down to the Arts Fest.
Never?
Not one time did I ever walk by and look at a piece of art or some kind of. I enjoyed the nightlife a lot when we were in college.
Yeah, we did.
But then, as I've gotten older, I'm like, I hate people.
The story,
I want to be downtown,
and we still tell. So, for those that are old time, I guess I now count as old time. I guess I have for a while. I don't like to admit that. Old time, Penn State alumni. So we loved going to the First when I was in school. Saturday nights at the First was
I never once went to the First.
You missed out.
You know why?
That was a party.
I didn't fit, Jeff.
But what happened was at Arts Festival.
Why would I go?
The First would have a late afternoon show and then their regular evening show. Well, we would go to the late afternoon show.
Were you drinking the whole time, Jeffrey?
Every year you would come out because you're doing your night of drinking in there, singing along, having a good time. And then every year, I mean, this happened for probably 10 straight years, we'd come up. And every single year, it would surprise you'd open the doors. Oh, it's still daylight. Oh, this is so cool. We still have, and it would surprise us, or we would be in awe of it every single year after participating in the afternoon show that the First family would put on. Always a great memory of Arts Fest, but. That's crazy that you've never.
No.
I have
been since. I've been since.
Oh, okay.
But
just in
school. I realized when I was in school, I never. I
went. Thought you were saying you still had never.
I can't stand up there. You realize that? I mean,
it is. It is.
It's low and
a lower ceiling. That is true.
I never went there, but I was also a Skeller rat.
We loved.
It was always like, hey, you want to go here? I'm like, no, I'm going to the Skeller. Skeller was my bar.
Yeah,
that's where I went. That's where I did my damage.
We had multiple bars.
Yeah, well, you were a Zeno's guy. And speaking of that, you know what this past week was?
Surf Club,
which was turned into
Gaff. We were big Gaff guys. Yeah, anyways.
Well, it was on certain nights, but see, we only had one night where we went out. Well, maybe in the off season was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but you had to get through those workouts and stuff. So
we never. In fairness, we were pretty disciplined. I don't ever remember us going out more than 7 nights in a week. Wait. And very rarely did we go out more than 6. We took a lot of Sundays off.
So the reason I brought it up, and I said his name earlier, and it came up on my memories today. And Pat Boland died 15 years ago this week.
Yeah, is it 15?
Mm-hmm. I called Mark Brennan and I was like, hey, bro, it's 15 years. And he goes, he goes, I know. Because he goes, my mother died the same week. And then, November 9 was when the poop hit the fan.
Yeah.
2011. 15 years, Patty's gone.
That's crazy.
Insane, right?
It is. Yeah.
Now, you and I had run-ins for a decade or so before that, but we never really worked did anything together until Patty passed.
Yeah, we had correct. Yeah.
So we're coming up on our 15-year anniversary, Ironhead.
Yeah.
What do you get me?
Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. A milkshake.
Is that a wine, by the way?
Think a good milkshake or a good bottle of wine.
I saw that. I was shocking. That Pat has been gone for 15 years.
Yeah, that's.
And then me and Mark started talking. Oh, is that live? Or is that from earlier today? A little home run for the Buccos. Must have been before. Yeah, so 15 years when Patty died, and then obviously the scandal hit in 2011, November of 2011.
Yeah.
That's jeez, man. Holy crap, man. It seems like a long time ago. It seems like a long time ago, but it doesn't seem like 15 years.
No.
No,
that is for sure.
So I did see that Velveeta is playing the first this weekend sometime, maybe even the night. I don't know.
Oh, is that right?
But I was like, that's a hell of a band to see in there in those quaint quarters, but it's pretty cool.
That would be. That'd be fun. I might have to check out the timing of that. Doubt it'll work out, but worth checking out anyway.
It's always been a fun band to go watch.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely love them. Pirates, by the way, down 6-4, still back and playing. They are now in the bottom of the sixth, and see if Pittsburgh can make a little more noise here.
A little bit.
Love to see them take this series and then take at least 2 or 3 from Milwaukee and just build a little momentum anyway into that All-Star break. Get a good feel about them. Well, that helps.
6-5, buddy.
That works. Little RBI double. We'll take that.
Always will.
So runners at second and third now with 2 outs here in the bottom of the sixth. That was a nice piece of hitting there.
What do you get going this weekend other than Arts Fest?
Well, that's
out of town, into town.
No, Arts Fest will be. It will celebrate the
talk to
Mad Turtle's 11th birthday. He's going to actually be at a scout camp down in the Chesapeake on his birthday on Monday, but we'll celebrate with a family dinner on Saturday night before he heads
was born
out
in 15
on Sunday. Yep, 2015.
He has only never known James Franklin as the head coach of Penn State football.
This is true. It's
a new era
funny.
for him. He's like, whoa.
Yeah, it is funny that the different perspectives on different times, depending on when you come in the sports world or just society in general. It's like, wow, this is what I've always known. This is what I've never known.
So you were,
and you forget sometimes. Well, I never grew up, but I was raised here. Yeah, I never did get around to growing up.
1983 was my first time coming here. 11 years old. Still remember it. Rocky Washington, sitting out front of the Lash Building, not the Lash Building. It would have been East Area locker room at that time. Sit outside of the weight room. He's just like, "Hey, who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm Keith Conlon. I'm friend, my older brother Chris. He's a freshman here." And again, I was 11 years old. I was probably the same size as Rocky was then, but he was my favorite player my first year watching Penn State, and I could not believe it. I had tears in my eyes. They're playing at Temple in 1983. Rocky, it's one of those like veteran stadium injuries. His foot got caught under the turf, and he got tackled, and his leg went like 52 times the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like spun around 46,000 times, and it was just his career was over. A guy who was built for speed, and that was his game out there and all that. But that was my first favorite Penn State player was Rocky Washington, because he was cool to me out in the parking lot hanging out. And then I got here when I came back in 2005. Rocky's kid was on the team.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I was like, "You're my guy, man. I got to hand it down."
It is amazing how quickly that stuff goes by. That when you start covering the kids of the kids that you started covering when you first broke into the business, and now in some cases we're looking at grandkids that are coming along. It's like, well, this is getting a little ridiculous now.
I always looked at that when I came back here about guys that so when I was playing here versus like the last couple of years, I've always like the difference in the 90s and the 68-69 team is That's less than what it is now to the 94 team.
Yeah.
And I was like sitting there like, wow, we thought the 68, 69 guys were old.
Believe me.
Are we old? I mean, oh, Jesus.
Yep.
They think I'm old.
Yeah. Perspective is a funny thing.
It is.
We will take a break here.
Oh, man.
When a buddy of mine, so we were big when I was at Penn State, the Wonder Years, the original The Wonder Years, it was out, and we absolutely loved it. I still think it's as good, if not a better TV show.
This is the second
anything
conversation I had with the Wonder Years this week.
Well,
it wasn't with you, the first one?
I don't think so,
Holy
but we absolutely loved it. But and this, mind you, now is years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, Horace was the one. He's like, do you realize that now? And again, this is like in the 2010.
Yeah,
he's like, you realize we are further away from our schooling than we were from what the Wonder Years was about. And again, when we're watching the Wonder Years, it's like, well, that is all the way back in the 60s. It's like, oh, yeah, I guess you're
the one I
right.
saw
That's
was
crazy.
The Wonder Years were based in like 68-ish, right?
Yeah.
If you go back 50 years, it's World War I. If you go forward 50 years, we're well past that.
Yeah.
So it was closer to World War I than it was to right now.
Yep.
Oh,
just hurts is what that does. Just hurts.
I think my back just tweaked right there, just at the thought of it.
All right. We'll take a break, put our hobbled bones together, and do one more final segment. It's probably not going to be much of a final segment. See, I'm under-promising, and then we'll try to over-deliver.
You look a bit nervous, hey?
Thierry, what's it like to stand in the FIFA World Cup stadium?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Just tell me. Come on.
It's not something that you can put into words.
Such a tease.
You can't rush it. You will find out when it's your time.
Thanks for the wisdom, coach. So, how much longer?
Now go and make history, my man. Here's the World Cup you've been waiting for.
Actually, the World Cup's been waiting for me.
That's the spirit. Just remember who drove you here.
Inspiring every step of the next legend. The official matchball carrier, proudly sponsored by Kia. Inspiration connects us all.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning Lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members. tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors. People invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox State College.
Not Mexico and Morocco, France and Morocco. Back at the start of the show. No, it's I said Mexico, I think.
Two Muslim countries going against each other.
France and Morocco getting ready for the first of the 4 quarterfinal matchups at the World Cup that is coming up. It'll start right as we go off the air here at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And
I stole that joke off of saw it on social media.
Is it just me, or is Mbappe pretty good? Some of these players are
insane.
I'll tell you what.
It's
a guy to keep an eye on is this little herald fella, Lionel Messi.
Yep.
He comes from Argentina.
Correct.
And this is an inside tip from somebody that's really got a keen eye for this stuff. You keep an eye on this guy. He's going to be something.
There's on the 4-letter network. It wasn't a 30 for 30, but it was an ESPN movie or a short.
With him possibly going to Spain.
Yeah, when he lived he played in Barcelona. That was he grew up playing for Barcelona in Spain.
Yeah, well, not for the Spanish national team.
Not yet. He didn't get there.
No,
but they made a highlight of 5 plays. Did you see? It's a really cool.
Yeah,
and they're
very
cool. The guys in Argentina. They're like, this kid's Argentinian, and they're like, yeah, but he's also 5'4". He's tiny. What do you do with him? And they're like, put his tape on and
let him go. Yeah,
and I learned a little bit about the sport then and there. And it's not about how hard you kick, how fast you are, how big you are. It's about spacing, timing, and knowing where you are and where your teammates are. And it's amazing to watch these guys because the big thing out there right now is if we put our best athletes on a soccer pitch at a young age, what would some of them do? What could they do? And you have no idea. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I played with some really, really good football players.
Yeah.
That were horrible athletes. That were not horrible athletes, but could run straight forward and back really, really, really fast. But if you asked them to run right or left, it was they looked very out of place, out of form, out of
Yeah.
Where these guys, it's like, how do they know to get rid of you?
Well,
just
it is funny. Yeah.
Give me my space. Give me my feet. My timing. It's amazing.
There are guys that. And gals, to be fair, that are
they got paid today, by the way,
that are just freaks, right? And would be great. You give them a year to train in anything, and it's like they'll figure it out. Not anything, but you get the idea. They just are bigger, faster, stronger, and it's like, all right, what do you need me to do?
Easy to know.
I'll figure it out. And then there are other people that it's like, man, they were just meant to do this or
meant to throw horseshoes.
And it's like, yeah, that they are special. And others obviously work at just,
you got some freak athletes that you know?
Sport. Oh yeah. I mean, and even, you watch baseball and there are guys that are truly just great all around athletes. And then there are other guys that it's like, man, that is a special baseball player. And That dude is lucky that he found baseball because the sports wasn't going to be an avenue any other way. And it's like that across the board. But the soccer, I don't know. It is going to be interesting to see what happens between now and the next World Cup in 2030 from the U.S. perspective. Listening to the people that know a lot more about it than me, the general consensus still seems to be that they need to find more. They need to elevate the professional, and it has elevated certainly. Like over the last 10 years, it's much higher now than it was a decade ago, but needs to elevate more the Major League Soccer in this country. The caliber of play needs to increase substantially. Called them
academies, I think what they were saying on TV this morning.
In order for Team USA to get to where it can truly be competitive.
Yeah, now see,
with the top
we're
teams.
Talking about we're talking about Messi. He played for FC Barcelona when he was a young guy. Does that mean he was property of Barcelona? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? As a young kid, like he's 12 years old and they have, like they're talking about like in Europe, the academies that they have for the soccer academies are run and owned by the Premier League teams. Does that make those kids property of those teams? So you're drafting these kids at 9 and 10 years old? I don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So they're saying that MLS needs to come out and do academies, and they're starting to. But the problem is that soccer is still a travel sport team, so you got to have money, and then these academies are paid for by the teams. Now I don't think that happens in America as of yet, because I don't think the MLS teams have enough money to fund these teams and they fund these kids there. So the only competitive stuff they're getting is travel soccer, and that costs money. So you're taking a whole bunch of kids out there who can't afford to play. Now, I mean, it is what it is. I get it. Baseball's the same damn way, but American baseball seems to be doing pretty good. I mean, obviously they've been overtaken by a couple other countries and stuff like that, but they're asking a lot. And I said it the other day. Is it a niche sport? Is it like lacrosse is still a niche sport because it is only in certain areas of the country? Like, it's in the Baltimore and the New York area, but now it's working out. Trust me, lacrosse. I mean, you're talking about Belfont has lacrosse. You know what I mean? Like, think about that. So that's how much lacrosse has been growing. Now, everybody's always had soccer programs, but I mean, how do we get to that next level? And like I said, I was starting to like the Thunder Viking, Hogland. Yeah. They're saying that, at 6'5", 220, 240 pounds, what he could be. And, I'm like, well, there's 30 of them plus on every NFL football team. I love the guy. I love watching. He's doing a great thing. But it's like, I mean, that if you're looking for guys who are that big and that strong and that fast, we have them. We have 30 on football teams, and there's 32 on NFL teams. I mean, now, do you have it? You got to have a lot of that stuff. You got to have your hand-eye coordination, your hand-foot coordination. All of that stuff's got to be down pat. So they said Hogland would be a very, very good American tight end. And I said, not at 220 and 40 pounds. He better put some more weight on. And then they showed his salary. And then they showed George Kittle's salary. And Hogland is making $80 million just on salary, because I know he's making a lot more on endorsements, because he's killing it here on endorsements. He's making $80 million
annually.
I think annually, I think that's his salary with his team.
That's pretty good.
And I
pretty
think
good
that
coin.
Kittle's making 17. I think that was the thing, that George Kittle's makes $17 million. So there's a little bit of disparity and difference in that right there. So now, Hogland also comes from a country that's less than it's 5.5 million. We have 340 million people.
Well, and that's still to me.
You hit me with that the other day. You got me.
I am still surprised. I mean, I know, and I and I get the argument, and it's not that it's not a legitimate argument. Like soccer is not a passion the way American football or basketball or some of these other sports are in the U.S. But again, we are a very big country with a ton of resources, and I am surprised that the U.S. has not been able to become more competitive than what it has over the last, let's just say last 25 years anyway, in men's soccer. Because there's plenty of sports that are niche sports that the U.S. does extremely well in. And to be fair, there are certainly other niche sports that the U.S. doesn't do well in. I don't know. While it's a niche sport here, I can't think of another sport, and maybe there is one, just trying to think off the top of my head, where it is internationally acclaimed and the U.S. does have interest in it, where the U.S. just is not competitive. Again, really at all in the last 25 years. Most sports, if we make any kind of a concerted effort, again, might not be the best, might not dominate, but usually the U.S. is pretty competitive if it's something we care at all about and put anything into. And I do think soccer is, there's enough of a niche and there is enough interest and money and all of that, that I think there's been a push. It just has not resulted in, again, the thinking was that they were closing the gap. And maybe, again, it was a disastrous game against Belgium. Maybe I'm making too much of that. It's just that was such a measuring stick opportunity. And it felt like the U.S. had a ton going for it, with the red card being overturned, or the penalty being suspended anyway, the home field advantage, the momentum that had been built, all of those things. And to go out with that performance and have the boneheaded play by Freeze, the goalie, that led to the goal that really kind of put the game away, although it didn't, and that's been a source of conversation, at least for me, since Tuesday's show. Again, you watch Argentina, they're down by 2 goals with whatever it was, 12 minutes left, and boom, there they are, they win it. The U.S., it felt like it was over after they fell down by 2 goals, 3-1, and it was. They ended up losing 4-1, but again, to me, it wasn't as much about the loss itself. It was that it did not feel like a competitive game, and we'll see how. I think Belgium's going to get eliminated here in the next round, and I think Spain is substantially better than either the U.S. or Belgium. But again, the thinking was that the U.S. would at least be on pretty even footing with Belgium. And at least on that day, it sure did not feel like that was the case.
That's where everybody's upset is.
Yeah.
It's, I mean.
But again, it's one game, and
Mexico lost their home game versus England in a superior advantage in the stadium that they were playing and stuff like that.
Yeah, and we see, anytime there is a one game opportunity, right? You go out and sometimes it's just not your day. You make a boneheaded play that you don't normally make. So I guess, it is possible that that I'm overreacting to that single game performance, but it also felt like that was, they knew that was a measuring stick game, meaning the U.S. team knew that this was being used as a measuring stick game, and it felt like the moment was too big for them, and all we heard leading up to it was that the moment won't be too big for them because they now have enough athletes. They've made the adjustments over the last 4 or 8 or 12 years, whatever you want to look at it as, and they'll be at least there, and they weren't. And that's, again, maybe it's an overreaction because they did have a good tournament up until then. And in the games that mattered, I mean, the Turkey game was a turkey, but it also was irrelevant, and they knew that, and they didn't play, they didn't play their starters accordingly. So that I throw that game out. But the games that mattered up until the Belgium game, I mean, the U.S. acquitted itself very well and had as good of a tournament up to that point as they had ever had in the World Cup. But again, that's part of why I think that single game performance is just felt soul crushing.
Could you imagine
for U.S. soccer?
These Europeans who've come across, and South Americans and Africans and Asians and everybody from the Middle East that came over here as a fan, they've been here a month.
Oh, yeah.
How much? I mean, what are we doing in Europe? Did work just stop?
Yep.
I mean, that's amazing.
Just taking a month off, guys.
I got to get out of here. I'm out of here. I got a month to go. I'm going to
go follow my team.
Yeah. Like, it's amazing. That's amazing.
And drink the Americans' beer and enjoy the Americans' air conditioning. And
dude, you see some of
the buffets,
the messages coming across
like we've never eaten before.
Like they showed Boston at 18 years, and it's just a bunch of red-haired, kilt-wearing soccer players. The Scottish enjoyed their time in Boston.
It has been
absolutely
fun.
I love it.
It's been, I think, fun for the folks coming in from other countries. I think it's been fun for Americans to see the interaction and to
we're old enough to remember
get to serve as host. Yep.
How bad American hockey was. How bad American Olympics were. But 80 is unbelievable. 80 is obviously 80 with the Miracle on Ice. And then you have some speed skaters but like forever we were not competitive in the Winter Olympics. We really, really weren't. And that's because we weren't training. We didn't have facilities and all of this and all that. Whereas you go around the world and these countries have academies and stuff where they were building the athletes. Now we're learning that lesson that we just can't take college kids. I mean, in the Summer Olympics, you can get guys running track and this and that, and then wrestling, it's fine. They're training on their own. But where are you training? There's only like certain places in this whole country you train for bobsledding and downhill skiing and I mean, but you and I are old enough to remember. I mean, I'm telling you, 80 Olympics were amazing, and then you get the 84 Olympics, and it was just like, man, we stink. We're really not good at this. And, they made their stars with the Eric Flame, and there's a couple other guys who were speed skaters throughout the years. Always like the name Eric Flame. And then figure skating and stuff like that. So it's not the first time. It's not the only time that we've actually, been held back. It's obviously a money thing. When the United States decided that, okay, let's start putting some money towards these Olympic, the Olympic training facilities, because we didn't have them when we were younger growing up.
Yeah.
Soccer, I mean, it just seems to be the same thing every 4 years, though. It really does.
It does. And again, I think that's why this year feels especially disappointing. There just seemed to be more build up.
Next step, and it was the
more
next
belief.
Step.
Yep.
It was the one game. It was one game. If you got to the 8, I think it'd have been like, all right, okay, we made it because we've never been here before. We're making progress. No, we ran over the same stumble we've run over for decades, and even expanded the tournament too.
Yeah, and again, it just.
Either way, it's been great and fun. I know I'm going to go home and watch the game. You? Baseball.
We've got that, and we've got some other things on the in the hopper for today. But I'll be following, and where I can, I will certainly be watching and keeping track of it. And it's again, you see the packed stadiums and the enthusiasm, and I mean, sports is always, right, always more enjoyable when you have full stands, whatever size the venue is. When you have a full house or a good crowd, not even necessarily a full house, but where you get an enthusiastic 3/4 of the place or more filled, and you get that enthusiasm, whether it's, a little league game, a high school sporting event, college event, or something on the world stage. You can't help, especially if you're there. I can't imagine the energy level that those guys feel when you're walking into a stadium like this. And again, have an opportunity to go win the ultimate prize in your sport. That's special, and getting the crowd reaction is a big part of that, and it makes it that much bigger of a spectacle. So, yep, I'll be checking out what I can when I can, for sure, here of the remainder of the World Cup. By the way, the Pirates still down 6-5, now in the bottom of the 8th inning. Just need 2 runs, Goon. That's all the Buccos need.
You're going to get them tonight.
I would love, love, love to see it. And I guess when next we get together, which will be on Tuesday, it'll be All-Star. We'll do a little All-Star game preview of the big game.
Willie Mays batting against,
which will be coming up again
Don
Tuesday night next week. That is going to wrap things up for today's show. And again, we will be back on Tuesday. Until then, be good, be safe, and enjoy the arts festivals.
You look a bit nervous, hey?
Thierry, what's it like to stand in the FIFA World Cup stadium?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Just tell me. Come on.
It's not something that you can put into words.
Such a tease.
You can't rush it. You will find out when it's your time.
Thanks for the wisdom, coach. So, how much longer?
Now go and make history, my man. Here's the World Cup you've been waiting for.
Actually, the World Cup's been waiting for me.
That's the spirit. Just remember who drove you here.
Inspiring every step of the next legend. The official matchball carrier, proudly sponsored by Kia. Inspiration connects us all.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning Lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. they'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, The Fox. Steve